Happy International Fairy Day, making of. Okay, so let's talk about making this. So this was fun. It was a larger project than I expected. I'd seen that Fairy Day was going to be on the 24th, and I thought, oh, we got to do something for that. And I was working on a couple of other ideas, and then I came across the panel skirt design, and I thought, oh, that's fun. Really wasn't thinking about the bit, really wasn't thinking about that, but I just really liked the shape of it. I liked the sculpture of it. And I thought, and I started watching, and it's not really that hard to do. Basically, you just make a bunch of pieces and you use a really stiff interfacing, like extra firm interfacing. And so the base of this is just interfacing. It's a really thick interfacing. And then it was actually a double-sided adhesive. And so I've got underneath it just the regular purple for a lining. And then I had another purple on top of that. And then I stretched more of the purple over. And then this fabric actually comes from China. So it's a mesh. So it's like this. And different pieces of it have different density of flowers. So obviously, I use the really dense stuff on the bottom. You layer that over the top. You pinch the things together. You seam it together. So that got the basic thing there, but it really didn't have enough structure and enough stability just there. So there is actually on the edge in here, there's 12, I don't know if I can see it. There you go. Sorry, didn't mean to flash you there. There's actually, I'll step off to the side so you can get, there we go. Oh, that's a better shot. There are two 12 gauge steel wires going this direction, and then there's a 9 gauge steel wire running up each of the valleys. And those all come in then to a triple web of that plastic webbing stuff that have buckles over on this side. So it seams in over on this side. This is just your kind of standard little clip things here. And so they buckle in over on this side. These are the 3 buckles here. And so that gives us plenty of density. And then the wires themselves come up through all 3 of these. They're sewn in so that when I buckle this down and tighten it up, then of course it lays flat. And the top of the wires lay flat. It's a 9 gauge wire, so it has plenty of strength to it, and it lifts up the whole thing. So that all works there. So that's how that all works. The top, it's just a shell. That was really easy. The sheer arms, I'm a little tired. I'll talk about that in the reactions. The sheer arms are actually more of a dicky that fit underneath so that I can move around and it doesn't distort this. So that goes on first, and then the shell goes on over the top of it. Just purple tights. I already flashed you my tap pants. I did make a pair of tap pants to go on underneath it just to do that. Wings. The wings took far more time than they needed to take because I didn't have the right size wire for a while, and I didn't have the right size colors, and so the wings ended up taking me like 2 weeks to put together when it was supposed to be a couple of days. But the wings really are not that hard to do if you've got everything together and you know what you're doing with them. So you download a pattern for the Cricut, you get some really stiff paper. I painted the paper gold then, and then got some gold cellophane, and then some vinyl heat press on, and then some wire. Because I was working with 9 gauge wire for this and 12 gauge wire for this, I mistakenly thought that I could just get 12 gauge copper wire to use for, no, 12 gauge copper wire is far more malleable than 12 gauge steel is. My bad. So I would think I would really need to go to a number 8, copper wire in order to really get the stability that I would want. As I'm walking around these things, especially in the heat, these things just start, kind of crushing inward just under their own weight. So that wasn't so good. But anyways, once I figured out what I was doing with the wings was easy. I just got a headband, covered a bunch of stuff. The shoes are just, lots of flowers that are just picked off the material and stuff. So it was pretty straightforward. Did take a while to put together, and there were some interesting adventures along the way. But there you go. Happy International Fairy Day, making of.